All right, guys, welcome back to Broke Bets. And like we said, we were going to do an NFL full week one picks going on. So, what's up, dude?
Get this started.
Let's get it started, dude. I know a lot of you guys aren't NFL guys, but we'll just get into the first game tomorrow night. We got the Bills versus the Rams here. And what spread are you liking looking at this game?
Yeah, I'm liking the Rams plus 2.5. They're underdog at home, coming off the Super Bowl. They could start out a little bit slow, but Sean McVay has won every week one game since joining the Rams as the head coach.
Yeah, and they got Allen Robinson in their group now. A good
Bobby
replacement
Wagner
receiver.
added to the D.
Yeah, they said there's a lot of parts of the defense and part of the team that moved on, like Von Miller leaving. But to be honest, I don't think Von Miller was the core of the defense. So, yeah,
He's on the Bills now.
or sorry, that's what I meant. But did whatever. Anyway,
No, no, no. You said he was on the Rams. I'm just saying he's on the Bills now. So,
yeah, that's what I meant to say. But yeah, I agree with the Rams spread. I kind of think it's a little bit crazy that they're underdogs, but they're not big underdogs. It's more of a pick'em game. But yeah, I'll go with the
Yeah,
Bills.
I think people are anticipating the Super Bowl hangover a little bit here. Didn't happen last year with the Bucks. I mean, they came out a little slow against the Cowboys, but they uh, came back and won that game by like three or four.
All the quote unquote NFL experts are picking the Bills to win the Super Bowl, which is kind of it's interesting because they're definitely a Super Bowl caliber team with their quarterback and their explosive offense and good defense. But like the Rams just did it. Wouldn't be that surprising for them to go do something good again. So, uh, yeah, Rams spread here. Okay, for the next game, we have the New England Patriots faces off against the Miami Dolphins at home. Um, in this game, we're looking at the Miami Dolphins with a quicker offense coming in with Tyreek Hill and some new acquisitions. Still questions behind Tua behind this season, I think. And we're getting a second look here at Mac Jones coming in for the Patriots and seeing what he can do. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yes, it's a divisional game. Those games are normally always pretty close, and the Dolphins tend to play the Patriots pretty well. Um, in this game, I like the under 46 and a half. But if I had to pick a winner in this game, I'd lean the Dolphins. The Patriots struggled in the preseason. Yeah, that's not everything, but they seem to struggle out of the gate and then pick it up as the season goes along. And Mac Jones, I mean, Matt Patricia's the offensive coordinator, first time OC. How will that work? We don't know. Yeah, I think I'm not a huge Tua fan, but he should have all the weapons in the world. He's added Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson. He's a solid wide receiver three. Um, Tron Armstead. So the line should be improved as well. Connor Williams coming from the Cowboys. So yeah, I like the Dolphins in this one.
I like the Dolphins as well, but I think the spread just for New England looks a little bit better to my eyes. I would definitely won't bet any of that. I do like the under pick a lot here because obviously the two good defenses and disciplined defenses against each other here. And Tua's gonna maybe struggle with some of those secondary people in the New England side, and same deal with Mac Jones. Does a lot of little dump down passes, might not lead to touchdowns. So yeah, I like that under pick.
Yeah, and these division games are always close. So I mean, 3.5 points is you know
Right.
could be close.
All right, that's our picks for this one. Okay, for the next matchup, we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the New York Jets here. And we're looking at a game with a new updated quarterback that people just saw today was Joe Flacco as the new starter for the Jets here. And this pretty predictable game. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm liking the Ravens here, although it is an away game and it's Joe Flacco's I guess revenge game, you could say.
He's
Yeah,
been
I
on a
like
lot
the
of
Ravens
teams.
here. They play they played a lot of their starters in preseason, so I'd expect them to come out hot and should be ready for the first game of the year. I mean, some teams usually come out slow because it would be the fourth preseason game, but I think the Ravens will come out hot, especially with Lamar Jackson. Um, he'll be wanting to prove his he wants that new contract, so he's wanting to prove his worth. And yeah, I like the Ravens spread in this one as well, the 7 points.
Yeah, and like if you're looking at some of the defensive weapons that the Jets try to incorporate through the draft, Sauce Gardner and stuff, like you're looking at a guy in Lamar who wants to run more. He might not get his opportunities defensively to get to the ball. Baltimore's got all the players coming back here offensively and defensively. It's hard to say how the Jets will play out offensively. But yeah, I expect a blowout as well here. So yeah, Baltimore spread looks
Yeah,
pretty
this line
nice.
opened up at 4.5, and now it's all the way up to 7.
Uh huh. Yeah, and the big front, Michael Pierce is back with the Ravens now. It'll be hard for the Jets to probably get a run game going. They already have like a bad offensive line, so yeah. Anything else from you for this one?
Uh, no, the Ravens seem to got healthy over the offseason. Marcus Peter missed all of last year, which was a huge blow.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I like them in this game.
Okay, for the next game we have the Cincinnati Bengals facing off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bengals being the home team here, coming off that Super Bowl run they just had. A lot of people doubted them through that run. They're coming in this season, not really hearing a ton of hype behind them. I think there's still some questions behind the team. They lost some defenders, but also maintained their weapons. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think the Bengals should be contending again this year. Their one question mark last year, or one knock, I guess you would say, was their offensive line, and they upgraded there. Um, but I still like the Steelers spread here at 6.5. Mike Tomlin always gets the guys ready to start the year. If you remember last year, they played the Bills week 1 in Buffalo,
Yep.
and their defense, Pittsburgh's defense, dominated that game, and they won that game outright. Yeah, I think they were like a 4.5, 5.5 point underdog in that game. Trubisky's quarterbacking first, the Steelers here. I think he has good weapons, but the offensive line is their question mark there. But I think his mobility will be able to help out that offensive line a bit. And yeah, I like the Steelers D to carry in this game.
Yeah, you're just looking at um, Big Ben last year who got sacked and just went down multiple times. Yeah, you get the running ability with Mitch Trubisky here. Um, you also have some more offensive pickups, some more weapons, and some healthy players for the Steelers. They got George Pickens this year, who I think is be one of the better rookie wide receivers to come out. Um, and then on defense, you also can see on the Bengals side they've lost some players. So not that I don't think Mitch is going to put 40 points on them, but I think that there's still a chance that he could do pretty well here.
Yeah,
And
I think this would be a low scoring game, defensive game. But yeah, my favorite play would be the Steelers plus 6.5.
yeah, I agree.
Last year, the Bengals destroyed the Steelers in both games. So I don't. I mean, that could happen again, but I don't see that happening again. I hope the Steelers would come out with a little more fight this year.
And if you're looking at the spread too, this there's so much more hype behind the Bengals that people just pound their spread line. And for that reason, it's more safe, I think, to go with Pittsburgh's line here. So,
Agreed. I guess.
okay, next game we have is the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. I think the end of their season last year, the Colts poorly against Jacksonville. They also had some slip moments against some other teams, but I think they blew out Houston the 2 times they played them. I could be wrong.
Yeah, the Colts tend to have the Texans number in the division. Every division is kind of like that, where a team has the other team's number, and Jags have been having the Colts number recently. The Jags season 2 years ago, when they went 1-16, their only win was against the Colts week 1, and the Colts are 0-5 in their past week 1 games, which is kind of worrisome. Yeah, but I still the spread's difficult for me, but I do like the Colts to win this game.
Yeah, the Colts money line is to me a good parlay piece. What really makes me more confident behind the Colts is that they have a go-to offensive option. I know Matt Ryan's coming in, and there might be questions of how that works out in the offense. They don't have like the most offensive weapons, but they still have that run game to run back on, similar to like how San Francisco plays their offense. Like Jimmy G takes a secondary role, and that running game kind of runs its own.
Yeah, I think Matt Ryan will be a better game manager than Carson Wentz.
For sure.
I mean, there's always those plays where it's like, come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like just using them as a parlay piece, I wouldn't go for a spread either way, just because unreliability and some other things like that, and losing some defenders here or there. But the Colts obviously should be all around better. So, anything else from you?
No, Colts money line.
Okay, for the next matchup, we have the Jaguars versus the Washington Commanders. Commanders. I don't have much opinions about this game. Obviously, it's going to be kind of low level with Carson Wentz being named the starter now, and with Trevor Lawrence still not really feeling his own yet. So what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Carson Wentz being the starting QB, I mean, you're never really going to know what you're going to get with him, but I still think the Commanders D will keep him in the game. I do like the Jags, though, having Doug Peterson as the coach now. I think any coach over Urban Meyer is an upgrade. They added a ton of pieces, overpaid, but still added a lot of pieces. Yeah, I'll go Jags plus 2.5 here, adding Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Brendan Sheriff, getting that offensive line better. I still don't like their secondary, Tyson Campbell and Shaquille Griffin, but I'll still lean Jags plus 2.5 here.
What's your over/under turnovers in this game? I would expect like 3 out of Trevor and 3 out of Carson Wentz. So set it at 4.5.
That's probably pretty accurate. Yeah, the Commanders. I think their run game can be decent here with Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick. But I think the Jags with their D-line and linebackers, Devin Lloyd, rookie, and Tavon Walker, they should put on a good performance.
I think the over-under for this game, too, is something to look at, but I think the number's set so low already, it's kind of hard to find any value there. So
yeah, I'd pass.
Yeah, passing that. But yeah, like Carson said, Jags plus 2.5. Okay, for the next game, we have the San Francisco 49ers coming down to Chicago to play the Bears here. And before we get this one started, I need to announce that Carson here is a Bears fan, so there is a little bit of that going on. Just be aware.
No, there is no bias here.
But yeah, coming to this matchup, the number that stands out to me is that over/under number at 40.5. I think if you're looking at the one of the previous games we just broke down, the Jaguars and the Commanders, like, I think that this game has way more scoring ability than those two teams. San Francisco's run game I think we'll be able to dominate Chicago's defense unless Chicago stacks the box and makes Trey Lance throw. Things can get interesting. But yeah, my play is that over 40.5. I'll let you go now.
Yeah, I like the Bears +7 here. I think, I mean, the national media is just sleeping on the Bears, having them at 32nd, ranking them there. Uh, I mean, I think they're pretty delusional. They upgraded their offensive line, upgraded their receivers, and got rid of Khalil Mack.
And San Francisco
Upgraded their secondary. The Bears' secondary last year was ranked 32nd. Bears upgraded, drafting two rookies this year, which will, I mean, obviously improve their defense. Kyler Gordon and
Brisker.
Jaquan Brisker. They both stood out in the preseason. They looked really good. Roquan Smith up the middle. Nicholas Morrow, they added him, linebacker up the middle. Yeah, I like the Bears +7 all day here. This is Trey Lance's first start. Yeah, he's got a big arm. Bears will play Tampa 2 and take away the deep threat. So I think the 49ers will be running the ball a lot with him and with Elijah Mitchell.
I also think that the 49ers defense stems from having a really good defensive line. And hopefully if Fields gets time in the pocket, then they can exploit more throwing and passing game, because the 49ers secondary really isn't anything special. So
they added Tre'Davious Ward, who's all right.
Yeah, but
yeah, they're nothing that great.
Overall, the reason why I'm looking at over 40.5 is there could be a couple big plays by these young QBs that could make a difference. Or there could be even turnovers. I think Trey Lance has, who knows, quite a few turnover abilities here, especially with some of the fast players in the Bears defense. So
yeah, and the Bears, what was I going to say here? Yeah, at Soldier Field, they just put in Bermuda grass now, which is different from their Kentucky bluegrass. So the field should be a little bit faster.
Oh.
But if you watch the Bears 49ers game from last year, the Bears, I mean, they were leading at halftime and were leading through 3 quarters or thereabout, and then they just completely fell apart in the 4th quarter and lost by 11. So, I mean, if they don't have those breakdowns, I think they win that game. But that's neither here nor there. I still like the +40, or the over 40 and the +7.5 for the Bears.
For the next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles coming in to play the Detroit Lions here. Detroit Lions just on Hard Knocks. People get to see the preseason about them. I mean, there's aspects of their preseason that might have went well, but they found some new players, that linebacker. But they also just are the Lions in general. It's going to be hard for them, I think, to come in and stop the offense, a little bit faster offense of the Eagles here. And so I'm picking their spread, if you agree.
Yeah, I like the Eagles -4 here. Although the Lions do keep a lot of games really close, and you see that last year in their last 10 games,
they're
were
sloppy close, though. That's a big part.
Yeah, 7-3 against the spread to end the year. But the Eagles last year were in Detroit, and they beat them like 41-10 or something like that. They blew them out. I like the Eagles' run game here to dominate. The Lions, adding Aiden Hutchinson, he won't be able to get his pass rush going, hopefully, due to the run game of the Eagles. I think the Eagles adding A.J. Brown will be a huge help for Jalen Hurts, a big body who can get a lot of yards after catch. And the Eagles' defense is healthy now. They also added Hassan Reddick. Brandon Graham is healthy now. They added James Bradbury. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They upgraded their defense quite a bit here. So yeah, I like them -4 here.
Yeah, I think also with, like you were saying, with Aiden Hutchinson, in general, just with Jalen Hurts too, he likes to run outside the pocket a lot too to make throws. So you might see him getting away from Hutchinson's side and take him out of the game. But yeah, Eagles -4. Okay, for the next matchup, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. In this one, I mean, the Falcons just are looking in rough shape. They got Marcus Mariota as their new starting QB. Obviously, losing Matt Ryan to the Colts. And they're just overall, they've lost Calvin Ridley. They're overall just going to probably be really messy here. And I like the Saints at their spread here at -5.5. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this opened up at 3.5, and it's climbed up to 5.5 now. I still like it for the Saints here. They tend to have the Falcons number. I think they're 0-8. The Falcons are at home against the Saints in the last 8 years. I like Michael Thomas coming back. I'm not sure if he'll start or not, but Alvin Kamara, Jameis Winston, I think they should be able to dominate in the run game. I don't
see an aspect of the game that the Falcons will dominate over the Saints. That's the tough
Yeah,
part.
I'm just seeing AJ Terrell will probably lock down one of the receivers. I like him a lot, the Falcons cornerback. But other than him, Casey Hayward's all right, but their D-line and linebackers are not the best.
Yeah.
So I like the run game of the Saints, and I really like the Saints defense. They got a Marcus Davenport, great pass rusher, along with Cameron Jordan. I think they'll be able to control the game here.
I agree. Okay, for the next we have a revenge game for Baker Mayfield. The Cleveland Browns heading over to Carolina to play the Panthers. And we have an interesting matchup here. And we're looking at the Panthers at -2.5. And I'll let you go.
Yeah, this is a interesting matchup. The Browns, they have the good offensive line along with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt running the ball. So I think that they can dictate the game a little bit there with that aspect. But I think they'll be a little too one-dimensional, having Jacoby Brissett being the QB. With that, this is a tough game to pick here, because the Browns defense with Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, I think they can kind of dictate the game there too.
And the Panthers' offensive line doesn't look too special by any means.
Yeah, I mean they got a rookie left tackle who's looked good so far, but still a rookie going up against Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney. The more I talk about this, the more I like the Browns.
We can switch. We can switch to the Browns plus 2.5 here. I mean, the running game is the big thing. It's just I think that Nick Chubb going in and inserting his dominance here is a big factor. So
Yeah, I think Christian McCaffrey in the passing game can do some damage here with the Browns.
But we're also got to think about. I mean, not that Jacoby Brissett's a great QB, but he's also got some really good targets to rely back on. He's got a deep threat in Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then, I mean, Amari Cooper can get open pretty easily. So like, we're looking at pretty good things. I think Robbie Anderson's a little bit past his prime right now. Still a decent.
Yeah,
wide
DJ
receiver.
Moore is probably their wide receiver one.
Yeah.
They added Rashad Higgins, and Laviska Shenault from the Jaguars. I really like the Browns secondary though. Denzel Ward's probably top 5 cornerback. Greg Newsome, who's a rookie last year out of Northwestern, I really liked him, and he played well last year. Grant Delpit, strong safety out of LSU. He was hurt for most of last year, but when he played well. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
We can do.
I think these games though that Baker Mayfield plays in, I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan by any means, but these games he always seems to get up for and play really well.
Well, I'll let you have the final pick. If that's Carolina too, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's even worth doing the Cleveland +2. I'd probably just take their money line, but at that point. But
Right.
but yeah, in my mind, I'm just thinking Cleveland money line. That's my play.
I'll still go with my gut and say Panthers
Okay.
cover.
Okay, for the next game, we have the New York Giants facing the Tennessee Titans here. Directly from looking at this game, I'm liking the money line as a parlay piece possibly for the Titans, but I still don't have the balls to pull the trigger on that with some of their offensive weapons being gone. But I still like them in that position. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think my play here would be the under. Um, what did I get it at?
Probably
44.5 is what I had.
that's one above what it says here, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. I just think the Titans losing a lot of their wide receivers. I mean, they added Bobby Trees, Robert Woods,
Yeah.
but they still lost their number one and number two targets from last year.
I
I
think that
think they'll
also
be able to
AJ
run the
Brown
ball.
brings a catch after or yards after catch that Robert Woods might not be able to produce quite the same, and a team where I think that the Rams he could be a lot more successful. But anyway, I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, I think the Titans will lean on Derrick Henry here. I just can't see Daniel Jones starting well here in his first game in the new offense.
I mean,
Kenny Galladay, he's looked like he doesn't even want to be there.
when's
I
the
could
last time
see
you ever saw the
Saquon playing
Rams
well.
start a season 3-0? It's been a long time.
Rams?
What's that?
Who?
I said
The
the
Rams?
Giants. The Giants started
Oh,
the season 3-0. Probably
not
like
in recent years.
never recently. So like I think that they never get off to a good start. Obviously, they haven't played well for a while. But I mean, other than some of their decent offensive weapons, they don't really have a quarterback that supports that super well. And Saquon might tear his ACL in the first game, so it's something to look out for as well.
Yeah. Brian Dable's their new head coach there for the Giants. Um, coming over from the Bills. Yeah, I just think the the Titans run game with Derrick Henry will be able to control the game here.
All right, and
For that reason,
you
I
got
like the under.
Yep. All right. Okay, for the next matchup, we're looking at the Las Vegas Raiders coming over to LA to play the Chargers here. Personally, before you get into this, I'll say that I like the Chargers at minus 178 as their money line here. I like some of the defensive acquisitions they've made as well as how they maintain their offense here. And I think overall they'll be able to win this game, but there's definitely some nervous points, and I think the right tackle position. Mason Crosby came in last year and gave a lot of trouble to the Chargers in certain games from that position, and they got Chandler Jones on the other side, so there's not really like escaping that. If they want to flip flop against the weak tackle, they have that option. So
Yeah, I like the Raiders plus 3.5 here. This will be pretty much a home game for them because the Chargers don't have any fans. So I think the Raiders crowd will travel well. Adding Chandler Jones, adding Devonta Adams. I think Adams. I mean, we all know he's the best, one of the best receivers in the NFL. He's a huge addition. He already has a connection with Derek Carr, so I think they'll be connected on the same page. And they added Rocky Sin, who's a pretty good corner from the Colts. Pretty sure he's out at Temple. Yeah, I like the Raiders here, although adding new head coach who didn't have success when he was a head coach previously with the Broncos. I'll still do the 3.5 for the Raiders. Yeah, I do like a lot of the ads for the Chargers, though.
yeah, they got
Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson.
yep.
I think J.C. Jackson's probably the biggest acquisition there.
He's one of the most underrated corners that doesn't get talked about. So,
Yeah, I agree.
and they got Derwin James healthy. I think last year he got hurt in the
Yeah,
preseason or something. Maybe that was 2 years ago. But
yeah.
I think
It
overall,
just
if anything in this matchup, I like the secondary of the Chargers better here. Not that people are very good at guarding Devontae Adams to start with, but I think they'll do better overall defending the passing game, which is what the
yeah,
Raiders mostly are successful at.
yeah, I agree. I think Chargers have the better quarterback here, and it just seemed like last year the Chargers were in close game every single
Yep.
time,
A lot of that
and
was
they got
coaching too.
yeah.
But yeah,
He was a first year head coach last year, Brandon Staley.
yeah,
I like him though.
yeah. But like I said,
I
I got the money line for Chargers, and you got the Las Vegas
Raiders
spread.
+3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, for the next matchup, we have the Green Bay Packers coming in to face my Minnesota Vikings. Yes, Carson is a Bears fan. I'm a Vikings fan, but we both hate the Packers. That's something we have in common here. So we're going to take the Vikings by obliteration, right, buddy?
I'm taking Vikings +1.5.
They Vikings always play well at home. Rodgers has only won at Minnesota once, and maybe twice. I think once though. But most games that they play are very close when it comes to playing in U.S. Bank Stadium. Um, Kirk Cousins usually has struggles with Green Bay's secondary. He throws a lot of tight passes that are close to being intercepted, although he's a pretty conservative QB to start off with. He doesn't throw many risky throws. The Vikings they made some offensive line additions that from the draft that helped, but they still have a weak center in Garrett Bradbury. So look at Kenny Clark will be pushing over Garrett Bradbury a lot. The running game might have a hard time getting started. Defensively, not having Devontae Adams will set the Vikings defense up a little bit better, but I think the Packers will try to run the ball mostly. But let you go now.
Yeah, I like the Vikings +1.5 here. I think losing Devontae Adams, it's a huge blow to their offense. I mean, Rodgers is going to make the wide receivers game better, but first game of the year, I don't see it being that well to start off with. I think 2 or 3 weeks down the line, they'll be a lot better. The Vikings upgraded their defense with Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt, first round picks from Georgia. But yeah, I think Vikings getting Kevin O'Connell as their head coach
An
should,
offensive-minded one.
yeah,
And if you looked at the Vikings season last year, they tossed away so many games that were within close points. And like I think they had like some crazy ratio for like points against or points for to wins and losses. And I like them. I like them in these close games, especially at home. Like I said, Rodgers always struggles there, and the Packers are also always doing the dinky dunk, small passes like throwing out to the running back or dropout passes or whatever. And I think versus the Vikings without Devontae Adams, the Vikings might have a better step on that. In previous games, they had to have double mark Devontae, have those problems. So yeah, Vikings +1.5, and I think the over is a good look in this game as well. But the
yeah. I
Packers
just don't
defense,
know how the Packers passing game will be coming out of the gate.
true.
Last year coming out of the gate, they only put up 3 points against the Saints.
I know
And
their
then,
moves though. They get third and shorts and they like to do a deep ball here and there just to confuse the defense. And Alan Lazard's pretty decent at being that receiver for those. And they lost some of their speed on.
Lazard might be out. I don't know though.
They did
Thought I
lose some
saw
of their
him might
speed
be
at
out.
wide receiver as well with no more Valdez Scantling. So they kind of lose a deep shot threat in that as well. But yeah, Vikings spread from a Vikings fan. Absolutely no bias. Boom. Okay, for the next game, we have the Kansas City Chiefs coming in to play the Arizona Cardinals. I think this spread's honestly a little bit off, but I'm going to just take the chance on Arizona's money line here. They started off last season very hot. Obviously, Kyler Murray doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins for this game, so that's kind of their big bust. But like you said, they got Hollywood Brown from Baltimore, who's a dynamic receiver, and then also I'm thinking the Chiefs haven't really. They lost some offensive players. They kind of had a slow go in the playoffs. I mean, they'll definitely come around, and Andy Reid will have some tricks up his sleeve for this game. But I think that Arizona could pull up the upset here, especially at home, and with a fresh Kyler Murray, fresh head coming in this new season.
Yeah, I like the over in this one. I think both offenses are very dynamic and will put up a lot of points. I don't think the Chiefs defense is all that great. I think Cardinals defense is so-so. They got a couple pieces here and there. Buda Baker, like him. Um, I think that's the only standout really in their defense. J.J. Watt, not really.
Yeah, not really anymore. I mean, he'll have the first two games until he gets hurt,
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I like the Cardinals as an upset. I think that over look is also a good look with any Chiefs game. Um, and I think it could be a fast-paced offense for the Cardinals moving down the field, especially when Kansas City doesn't really improve much. They just kind of have Chris Jones, it feels like, on defense to try to carry the load. And
I think Chiefs adding Valdez Scantling. I mean, they lose Tyreek Hill, but Valdez Scantling is a
is
deep
also a
threat. They
fast
have
receiver, right?
McCole Hardman, and they added Juju, which, I mean, he's probably doing TikToks with Jackson on the sideline before the game, but he's a decent receiver.
He'll still be doing okay, yeah. All right.
So I like the over.
All right, yep. Over and money line thoughts. Okay, for our next matchup, we have the Buccaneers coming in to play the Cowboys. I know you're liking Tampa Bay's spread here. I think this is another interesting matchup. Definitely be a great game to watch. I know these two started off a season, if it was last season.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, and there was some controversy around that game, reffing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that was to start that was week 1 as well last year.
I think also we're going to see a very motivated Brady. This me is, I really would assume last season because he said he wanted to play until he's 45. So I'd expect him to do his full homework every game. He really wants to get that last Super Bowl before he signs off. And I liked some of the defensive acquisitions for Tampa Bay here, and Dallas losing Amari Cooper, key wide receiver, makes me nervous to stay with them. And also Zeke isn't really existent anymore. So
I feel like Johnny Pollard the backfield.
yeah, he's good. But go ahead.
Yeah. Buccaneers added Akeem Hicks, but they lost Ndamukong Suh. But other than that, I mean, it's still mostly the same for Buccaneers defense. I mean, they're gonna do well back there.
And they got Julio Jones on offense.
Yeah, and added Julio, Mike Evans. Is Chris Godwin healthy? Hopefully. And Dallas losing Amari Cooper. I think they're anticipating CeeDee Lamb to get a ton of targets. Zeke, he's all right, but I think he's past his prime.
Oh, that's not a
It feels weird saying that. I mean, it feels weird saying that because he's only been in the league for like 6 years, it seems like.
The Cowboys added Anthony Barr. In my opinion, Barr is also way past his prime. Micah Parsons obviously being that star on the defense, but also Devin White on the Tampa side. Not quite the physical specimen, but still real fast, real physical player.
I think both these teams will put up pretty good numbers. So I'd lean the over for that, but I like the Tampa spread here.
I agree. Okay, for the last game this week, we have the Broncos coming in to play Seattle here, and Russ Wilson's going to be back in his home stadium. I wouldn't feel like there'll be any boos when he comes into this. I don't know, Seattle fans seem like they probably would be pretty chill with it. Obviously, they'll still want their team to win the game, but I have to expect a blowout here for the Broncos, and I'll let you go about it now.
Yeah, I think the Broncos will put on a show here. I think Nathaniel Hackett as their new head coach, offensive minded, coming from Green Bay. I think good connection with Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. Those are two, I'd say, top 20 wide receivers. I really like both of them. And Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon in the backfield. I think they're all right. They'll be able to run the ball well. Just looking at Seattle, Geno Smith being their starter. I mean, the preseason they didn't do anything against Bears second stringers. Can't. I mean, it's only preseason, but still,
Right.
I don't see them doing well against Broncos starters.
Also,
With
if you
Patrick
think about Russell,
Surtain and
if you think about Russell
Justin
Wilson not
Simmons.
being great last year, you got to think about the thumb injury, and then he's coming back from that. So I'd expect him full speed Russell, and he usually starts off seasons pretty strong. So
Yeah, Broncos country. That's right, all day. Yeah, I really like the Broncos in this one to cover the spread as well.
all right. Anything else?
No,
Peace.
peace.